Hey, is that... Oh man, my guys, it's really happening. I'm here, gangsters. Yo, Wagwanski guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? Happy 2026, happy new year. I hope you guys are well and truly doing good. If you are new to the channel, my name is Atem. I'm 26 years old. I'm out here building my business in Melbourne. About 13-ish months ago, we started this journey last year. If you have watched the last few videos, I was very general in the content that I was doing, and now I'm going to be progressing, really showing you the progress in everything that I'm doing, learning Mandarin, our biz hustle, and the gym. I used to think it was, fitness, or it was language learning or filmmaking, storytelling. It's actually not. The biggest focus is all about character traits and belief. Okay, because we are still building our skills, we're still building our skill set to be elite, and that's going to take some time and lots of volume. However, what we can change is our idea, and you watching can change your idea of what is possible. The most important thing is you can actually watch whatever I'm doing and me sharing what I'm doing to show you that if you can think big and you stick at it, anything in this life is possible. Anything is possible. And number two, you have to be consistent. If you can stay patient, be resilient, and be consistent on a goal or a dream that you have that is so big and so outlandish, anything is possible. So that's it. That's what I want you guys to note. And in fashion, gym sales fashion, if any of you have come from my gym sales video, because it's hit about 10K views as of this time, and I made that video a few years ago. I make these videos to inspire the individuals who are never acknowledged of their obsession and their willingness to learn greatness, persevere, and become the greatest ever. Not in gym sales, not in sales, not in content creation, not in language, but in life. So let's do it. I don't like any feeling of being victimized. I think that's a counterproductive way to think as a human being. I'm not a victim, I am a survivor. I'm paraphrasing Charlie Munger, but if we can define resilience as how long it takes you to return to a new baseline after a change in behavior from something bad happening to you, then it's in our control to decide how quickly we want to bounce back. So basically at this point, I'm trying to do 100 outbound. Like I'm trying to do over 100 contacts, outreaches, calls a day. But the biggest constraint, the biggest limiting factor that I have at the moment is that I'm not advertising enough. It's just simple. What I also got from when I was in New Zealand, mostly when I was in New Zealand, you guys saw when I was in Sydney, is lead to sale ratio. If I'm able to get 100 leads in, and out of those 100 leads, I close 25 sales, then my lead to sale ratio is 25%. Very simple math, right? If out of 100 leads, I'm able to close 40 sales, my lead to sale ratio is 40%. The lead to sale ratio is always, in my opinion, what I've noticed to simplify the numbers game and to make it work. What is your lead to sale ratio? How many leads are coming in and how many of them are you closing? Not how many of them are you booking. Yes, you can fix that, but once you get good enough, it's just keep it simple. How many leads do you get and how many do you close? Right now, every time I do lead generation, I'll get anywhere from 10 to 15 leads. How? The question that I'm asking myself right now, because it's all about questions. The question that I'm asking myself is, instead of every time I do a lead gen, how do I get 10? The secret of success is to do the common thing uncommonly well. That's John D. Rockefeller. You see, I have two options. I can either show you the glitz and the glam, or I can show you the real, This is the real.
Exceedingly back.
你的冰箱在哪儿？冰箱，
冰箱，对不对？
冰箱就是你的肉放在里面，打开冰箱，
冰箱，对不对？
对，冰箱
冰箱。
冰箱。
My room now, my new room. So I just recently moved places. So now I've kind of got a better joint to like film, which is nice. A little bit more space. Before we actually get into everything, I did put a poll up on my Insta, which is just my name, awhile, and I asked you guys if I should travel to China or to Thailand or to both, and you guys voted for us to go back to both China and Thailand. So I hope you're excited. I hope you're happy because we're back with from zero to 100. And it's really called Crossed Borders, which you'll find out once that happens. Why do I keep saying cross borders? Like, what's the meaning behind that? It's going from the world in which you are comfortable, the world you are in, and traveling, abroad to a new experience, but with culture, with a surface level understanding of the culture, and being able to cross over learning and teaching yourself the language and a little bit about the culture. And so the language that we're learning, as you can see, is Mandarin. So you saw earlier in the video where I was talking a little bit about lead to sale ratio and talking about leads generated and how many are closed and sold. But I didn't talk too much about rule of 100. So what is the rule of 100? I've mentioned it in other videos, but I want to give you a bit more clear context. So from 0 to 100K, even from 0 to a million, or 0 to 100K a month, number one problem is advertising. Number one problem. You can be the best salesperson in the world, but if no one knows about your stuff, you're not selling nothing. So this is the issue. Previously, from 0 to 100K in a month, the vehicle that I was in especially, the industry that I was in especially, I wasn't focusing on marketing. I was there closing. I was purely there for closing. I know how to close, right? But this being your own business, you need to understand how to advertise. It's not just about getting in front of people. It's not just about the impressions, right? It's not just about the amount of people that you're talking to. It's also about the cost of replicating. I have done multiple times now. I've actually found a location, rented it out, set up a stand, and built a script out to do lead generation out in front of shopping centers, multiple shopping centers, also at festivals, and building out a small offer to be able to get a contact and get a name and a number from people, right? That's good. However, the cost of replicating that is important. In business, you want to keep it as lean as possible. You want to be as cost effective as possible, as efficient with how you spend your money. That's number one. And two, the volume. Like, you want to be able to do it over and over again, high amounts of volume, which will give you enough room for error. So that's kind of the lesson from there, biz. And it hurts because sometimes you can spend money and not get a result and get so emotionally tied to that result that when you fail, you actually want to quit completely. So the lesson there when it comes to the character trait, I'd say, is that you need to be wise with how you're investing your funds. It doesn't matter if it's $100, $10,000, $1,000, $10, $1. It doesn't matter. When it comes to business, you have to understand, okay, what is the input and what is a reasonable output? And how many times am I going to spin that wheel until I get a reasonable output that makes it worth the investment? So with gym, we're training every day. And honestly, the focus is just to train every single day, and keep it as a lifestyle. Like training is a part of what I do. It's not 100% what I do, but I love to train. I always post it daily, and that's just daily motivation, daily inspiration. Because I think it's just a lifestyle. You stay in shape by just staying in shape, like by continuing to train. And then, yeah, and just to eat more when I can, really, to eat more. I want to be at around 95, 96 kilos, but that requires a lot of eating. A lot of eating. Also, these are the books that I've been indulging in, so I want to talk about it a little bit. So this book I've mentioned many times. So it's A Salesman, Reflections on My Life Story by Larry Dickman. 60 years in one industry. 60 years running a multi-million dollar business in one industry, man. Just think about that. That is insane. That is insane. So this is awesome. I love this book, and I've read it about 5 times, and I want to keep reading it and keep reflecting and keep talking about it. That's number one. Number two, this book, The Psychology of Money. Last but not least is the Bible. So I don't know if I've shared this, but I've baptized as young kid, little kid, and got my Holy Communion, born again Christian when I was 8 years old. And I've gone to a Catholic Christian school my whole life. Now at 26 years old, I am actually seeking Jesus Christ and understanding and knowing Jesus Christ truthfully, wholly, and to a part where it becomes he becomes fully installed. Jesus Christ becomes fully installed as a leader, as a mentor, as a person through this, all the scripture and all the timeless lessons. I did not know the importance of having faith and having the importance of spirituality until I was in a position where I had no choice but to be faithful. I did not want to worship myself. I don't want to worship another human being, because that is where we fall short. When we worship ourselves and we take ourselves, we will end up idolizing ourselves and thinking ourselves as God, and seeing ourselves as God, which is totally, I think, is just the wrong way. And so why the Bible? Because God sent Jesus Christ, very simple, but God sent Jesus Christ to earth to forgive us as human beings of our sins and to give us an example of the way that we should live our life as the image of God. That's Jesus Christ. That's why Jesus Christ came to earth. All the lessons are here. I want to have leaders in my life that I can use as a guide to be able to help you and figure it out myself, especially when it comes to from 0 to 100K. And so having lessons on money, having lessons on sales and on marriage, on life, and having lessons again on marriage and spirituality and faith and being a leader through right, through wrong, through everything, I think is just so important. So today, also, why I wanted to tell you, on the road to your first $100,000, the relationship between time and money is the most challenging and it's the most difficult, because you are building your skill, but then also trying to build capital at the same time. And so you have to trade your time for money. But if your time is worth less in the beginning, it's so difficult. You really got to have a lot of faith, man. Like, anyway, I'm rambling at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this video, man. I just want to say I thank you so much for watching, bro. Like, you don't understand. I get one comment, I get one person saying anything. It fuels me that I'm doing the right thing. I'm following, my purpose. God's mission for me is being fulfilled whenever I do this, and I get, someone that will comment or someone that likes it and actually says like this is making impact. So thank you so much for spending your precious time with me here. It means the world to me. And I hope that in me documenting, sharing what I'm, learning, going through and becoming a noble person and someone that I actually am proud of, and sharing that with you so that you can also be someone that you're proud of. Yeah, I'm eternally grateful. So I'll see you guys in the next one.